Welcome everyone. It is Tuesday evening, May 9th, if I'm not mistaken. And I am not coming to you from live. I am pre-recording this because as you watch this, I'm probably getting ready to get on a boat down in, I'm moving my camera so I can get it situated. Hang on one second. I am probably getting on a boat down in the British Virgin Islands. So anyways, so I will be back in a couple of weeks, but I've got videos scheduled and I hope you enjoy them. Tonight we're doing two new fun folds. They've been around, so I'm sure that you've seen these, but I decided I haven't done them yet, so I'm going to do them for you. I'm going to go ahead and switch down the camera. That way, if those that are coming in a little bit late, they may not miss a lot, but I did want to go over the specials that I offer, and then something else when you become a customer of mine, some of the perks of being a savvy stamper. So I'm going to turn the camera down to the table, and as always, if you place a $50 order with me through my online store and use this host code, you see this right here, during the month of May, then you will get this project tutorial of 42 projects. This is created by myself and 41 other demonstrators in the United States and other countries that we are located in. So anytime you place a $50 order, you'll get this tutorial bundle. It's great for inspiration, great for giving you ideas, and if you want to copy or case it, as we call it, copy and share, you are welcome to do that. Don't have a demonstrator and you're not, or if you're not working with someone, you don't have a catalog, shoot me a message, mailing address, phone number, and name, and I will get one of those into the mail to you once I return. And then the other thing I wanted to share with you all is that when you join my newsletter list, in addition to getting a free One Sheet Wonder class, which most of you, I think, that have been watching me for some time should be on my newsletter. But if you're not, I send them out on a weekly basis to give you updates on information that Stampin' Up! Is providing as far as their specials, and then anything of news from myself and what I'm providing through Shall We Stamp. And one of the things is that when you shop on my newsletter, towards the top, you'll see a box that has coupons. And there are coupons loaded that I have in here for every month through now, starting May through April of 24. So for this month of May, if you spend $75 or more in my online store, then in addition to receiving the tutorial package, then you're also going to receive a package of 12 by 12 cardstock with your order. And you just need to email me what if you have a particular color in mind. Otherwise, I'll probably send you white. But let me know what particular color. And then you can go through and see. This will be on my newsletter. You'll be able to download it. You'll just email me for that month and let me know once you've placed your order. If I don't reach out to you asking you what you want, then just go ahead and let me know that you're using the coupon. That's probably the easiest way. And then for the month of June, if you spend $60, then you're going to receive a packet of the 23-25 new in color cardstock, the 8.5 by 11. So you'll receive that for free. And that's like, I think the cardstock runs about $10 a month. So that's $10 savings. And then so on. You can go through and see some of the other offers. And then one of the things of being I guess it would help if I filled out the bottom, huh? One of the things that you'll also be able to download is your free 40 from Dawn Form. And this will, I'll have a link to it in the next newsletter. And when you shop, you track your orders of $50 or more. And once you've completed the 8 lines, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Once you complete 80, once you complete 8 purchases of a minimum of $50, then you will receive a free $40 in product. Now they have to be, so if you place an order for $99, then that's only going to count as one $50 purchase. If you place an order for $105, then you'll get 2. Right, so if you did, let's say you do an order for $55, so that's 1, and then you do here place an order of $105, then you're going to have, so at that point you would have 3 of your lines completed. So once you get a total of 8, then you'll get $40 in free product. You just send me your list. I'll verify the purchase orders, and then you'll list your items that you want to purchase with the $40. Now, you will pay the shipping and tax for it to be delivered to you directly, so I will invoice you that information. And so just keep that in mind. I will have this posted in the next newsletter, so you'll be able to download the coupons for the upcoming year as well as your free 40 form. And this, once you get it, you can either take a picture of it and send it to me via email or text, or you can scan it, whatever you want. You don't have to mail it to me. If you want to just take a picture and send it, as long as I can read this part right here, that's all that matters, and put your name and address and everything right here in case I don't have it. And I guess I need to update this, don't I? Because I have my old address on there. So there you go. And I was just thinking, oh, one other thing. Sometimes I send out in the mail, I'll send out a free, I wish it was $50, right? I'll send out a gift certificate for $10 off a purchase. And if you receive one of those, what you'll need to do is contact me with an order, and then I will place the order on your behalf, or you can place the order yourself. Let me know that you've got the coupon, and then once I see the order, then I will either mail you a check, or I can PayPal or Venmo or whatever is easier for you to get your $10 back. So just to let you know that as well. All right, so with that being said, we're going to move on and get started with creating a new Fun Fold card. And the first one we're going to do, it's a Z Fold pop-up card. And I'm using the new, oh gosh, hang on a minute. I got to get the name of the paper. I don't have that in front of me. It is the new, it's Stargazing 12 by 12 designer series paper. This is a fun, beautiful set of paper. It's got some vibrant colors, and I thought this was really cute. I really liked it. I'm using Tahitian Tide, and this is the back of this is the front of that paper, and this is the back. But so here's the card, and then when you open it, it pops open, and then there is your sentiment, happy birthday, wishing you all your wishes, and this is in the stars. I thought this was really, really cute, and it's really not that difficult to make. So we're going to go ahead and get started, and let's see how we do on this card that we're going to be making. Now, I've got everything cut, except I just realized I do not have the white piece that we need to make our little mechanism to make it pop up. So I'm going to bring in my Stampin' Trimmer. And if you don't have one of these, we do sell these in the store. I highly encourage you to get one. One, if you're a scrapbooker or you work with larger papers, this opens up to 17 inches, and the base of it contains 1/4 inches all the way through, and also has it listed in centimeters as well. So let me go through the measurements for you, and then we'll get started. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to start out with a card base of 5.5 by 8.5, and I'm using the Night of Navy, and we're going to score this. Let me move my scoring, and then I'll get to my white piece in just a minute. We're going to score this at 2 1/8, so I'm going to line this up at 2 1/8, and we're going to score this, and then we're going to move it down to 4 1/4. And we'll score that as well. All right, so that's our base. And we're going to fold it. We're going to fold it in half at the 4 1/4. And it's just like when we do one of the, whoops, we don't want a ruler to do that. We need a bone folder. We're going to burnish that and then fold this back. So it's going to be like a Z fold, right? So this is a Z fold, okay? That's how it's going to look. Now you're gonna cut another piece. You're gonna take your designer paper. This is from the Country Inn Suite, and this is gonna be 4 by. Whoops, I cut that too big. It's gonna be 4 by 5 1/4. So let me trim that down. I must have cut it. I don't know what I was thinking. 5 1/4. That's whoop, 5. We want 5 1/4. Yeah, it's cut right at. Yeah, it's right at 5 1/4. Let's see. Yeah, we'll cut a little smidge off there. And it should be at 4, and I think I've got it at 4 1/4. So let's go ahead and cut this down to 4 inches. All right, so it's 4 by 5 1/4. I'm going to keep that piece because we might use that for something else. All right, that's going to go on the inside of our card, and I am going to place it. I'm going to use the back of this particular design, okay? So I'm going to place that right here. And then we're going to cut, let me see, hang on a minute. All right, let me go ahead and add this while we're doing this. Let's just add as we go. And I hate coloring up those flowers, but I'm going to put them on something else so you'll see them. So we don't want it to be too busy and clash. So let's add this down on our inside of the card. So we're going to place that right there. Okay. Now, whoops. See, at least my glue let me, had time to move it, huh? All right, and then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to cut 2 strips that are going to be at 1 7/8 by 5 1/4, and those I'm going to put right here. Okay, so that's the design that I want to see here because I think that's going to be pretty. But I'm wondering now that I look at it, if I should. No, I think I want to do that. I think it will be fine. I don't think we need to. I was going to do my squares. No, I think it'll be fine. All right, so we're going to go ahead and attach that. I'm starting to question if I want to do that or not. So let's go ahead and put these down. All right, and now we could have it all like that, but I don't want to do that. Let's leave it. I want the flowers to show. I really like the flowers. And if you haven't received this paper, you need to make sure you get it because it's got a lot of good coloring. It's the blue, all the blue tones, and it's just really pretty. All right, so we've got that down there. Now, before I go any further, I need to make our folding mechanism. So it's going to be a 2.5 by 3 inch piece of white cardstock. So I am going to do, let's do 2. Let me do 2.5 because I know I got this larger side. All right, so we're going to cut this at 2.5, and then I'm going to turn it, and it's going to be cut at 3 inches. All right, so that's at 3 inches, and then we're going to score this at 1.5. So I'm going to move this to, let's just do it this way. We're going to score it at, let me get my fingers in here. All right, this is going to be scored at, oh, I'm sorry, back that up a little bit. We're going to do 3/4 of an inch. I'm jumping ahead of my thing here. All right, so we're going to score it 3/4 of an inch. 3/4. Then we're going to do 1.5. So we're going to slide this down to 1.5. I was looking at other directions. So 1.5 there. So we're going to put that down. And then we're going to move it over to 2.25. All right, and then we're going to move that over to 2.25. So that should be right about there. Okay, so this is our mechanism. This is what we're going to use to make it pop up. All right, so what we want to do is we're going to fold this on all of the score lines, and then we are going to fold it in half like that, okay? So we're going to lay it flat. I'm just going to burnish my edges. Now we're going to take some tear and tape, and we're going to add that tear and tape, hang on, I got it right here, to each side, on each side of the center thing, okay? So I'm going to lay this down here, and then we're going to cut it. I try to tear it, and to be honest with you guys, I can't. I don't know what it is. I see people tear this and make it look like it's like going through butter, and I seem to struggle when it comes to tearing it. So I just lay it on here and cut it with my scissors. It does the work. All right, so we're going to do that, okay? Whoops, now I got stuck to my paper. Hold on. I'll go ahead and cut him off. All right. Now the next thing we're going to do is I'm going to take this and we're going to line this up because I've already got these guys in there, right? So we're going to take this guy and we're going to line it up in the center of the card, and then we'll pull the tape. We're going to pull the tape off, but we'll center it right with the score line and try to get it as centered as you can. If you don't get it exact, it's okay, right? So we're going to pull the tape off, or the top level, the cover. So hang on. Should be using tape and a pick tool, huh? And then we'll do this side. Takes a few minutes, doesn't it? Okay, so we got the tape off of that. All right, now we're going to take this and I'm going to just hover over until I see where it's even. I'm just eyeballing where I think it's going to go. So I'm making sure that my seam, my score line is lined up on my center score line with my white. And that's our pop-up mechanism. All right, so when you open it, We'll push it down a little bit, and then there you go, okay? All right, so that's that. Now, the next thing we're going to do is we have cut some squares. So you're going to cut 2 of whatever color. I'm using the boho blue, and I've got 2 of these squares that are cut at, hang on, I got to find it. Design, where is it? 2, well, you know what? Instead of wasting time, where's my ruler? I think it's, yeah, these are 2-inch squares. So 2 by 2. So you're going to have 2 inch squares. Okay, and then the third one that you're going to need should be 2 1/4. So 2 1/4 by 2 1/4. Okay, and then your designer paper, obviously, for the 2 1/4 one is going to be 2 by 2. You'll need one of those, and then for your 2 by 2s, you'll need 1 3/4. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and adhere these onto these squares. And I'm going to put, that might be a little much, don't you think? I think I'm going to have to flip it over now that I look at it. I should have probably put this paper all the way through because I really wanted the flowers to be seen. But that's all right. We're going to go with this. I think that's going to be too busy. So, and I cut them so we'd have right amount of flowers that we could see. Oh, well, it's okay, right? It's going to look nice no matter what. So at least I got it cut where my design is going up and down. So that's okay. That should work. So we're going to put that on there and move it over and try to get it as centered as possible. And let's do this one. Hopefully y'all can see this. Let me see if I can zoom in just a little bit. I think y'all can see. Let's zoom in just a little bit. All right. And then we're going to put this one on here. Whoops. Oh, I put the glue on the wrong side. Dagnabbit. All right, hang on. I knew I was going to do that. Let me grab another piece. Go figure. You know I couldn't not miss something. I guess we're going to, I'm going to have to wipe the glue off. I don't have another piece. So let me wipe this off real quick and see if we can clean it. Well, it's not going to stick. Hopefully we'll get it off and it won't matter. Hang on. We're wiping. Oh, I think it'll be good. Ah, don't know what I was thinking. All right, so what we will do, I've got it wiped off onto my chamois, on my craft mat, and I'm going to go ahead and apply this on here, and then I'm going to take my eraser, my glue eraser, and take it off. So hopefully this doesn't screw things up. So, oh my goodness, and I used up this piece, so I don't have this piece anymore. All right, so let's get it lifted up. Hopefully it doesn't stick to this. And then I will just take my glue eraser and I will remove the glue from the top of the square because I can still see some on here, but we'll do that. Okay, so we just won't get it, we won't close it, so I'll just go back and clear that off. Go figure. All right, and then this one, now let's see, I'm thinking this one's going to go in the center, so I'm thinking I might do that one. I think I'll leave this one like that because that's going to be, we'll do it that way. So let's put the flower on the inside of the card then. So we'll cover this up. See? It's always a comedy hour on Tuesdays, but that's all right. All right, so we're going to put this here. And we will, hold on, get that straight. I got glue on my fingers now, so it's making it sticky. Okay, so we have our 3 squares. Let me get the glue off my fingers. All right, and you can do this on any color. You know, you can do a white base if you wanted. You don't have to do the color. All right, so we've got that. Now we're going to, where's my stuff here? Okay, so we're going to take these smaller 2, and we're going to add them to the, and this is where it's going to look a little weird though because of my design. See, I wanted my flowers, but that's okay. So this is going to be closed, all right? So that's going to be closed like that. So we're going to put this on here this way, and I know it's going to look a little strange. You're going to add it like that, and then we're going to add this one like that. So it's going to be weird now because I should have put this over here, but that's all right. You get the gist of how it's supposed to work, right? All right, so all we're going to do is add adhesive right here to the left side, okay? So I'm flipping it over, and I know I only want adhesive from the center over to the left side, right? So we'll just put some glue there, and we'll go ahead and bring that up. Now these are you're gonna attach it right at the top of the tip, and you want to get the other tip to come right down even with the cardstock, right? Now these will overlap when you put the second card on here, okay? So this is going to overlap, and then that's how it's going to work, okay? So this one, we're going to do the same thing. This one's going to line up like this, and that's going to line there, and then these two will overlap the corners, okay? Can you see that? All right, so again, we're going to put our adhesive on this side. All right, and then we're going to pop that down. And this, don't do what I did. Put your designer paper. Do what I didn't do. Put whatever this color. Put it all the way through on the other side. That way it all coordinates. And then when you open it, you'll have the same design, and it's clear. And then you're going to see the opposite side of the paper, which is fine. Okay. Now this one, this is the larger of the one. Now this one we're going to attach right to the inside, right here, so that when it's closed, so that when you open it, it's going to be attached right like that. It's about right in the center. So you just want to put a couple of glue dots on here, okay? So we're going to put a couple of glue dots. So I'm going to put, it's going to go like, I want it to go like this, right? So I'm going to put a glue dot right on the tip, and then I'm going to place one on each side of that tip. So just to kind of keep it all in the corner, all right? If that makes sense. So we want to have glue dots just in that little area right there. All right, so I got two right there, and I'll put one right about there, and then that should give us enough to hold it in place. So I'm going to take this, and I'm going to lay it about a third of the way, and I know that I've got enough room to lay it there. So I'm going to put it right about there. I'm going to push it down just for a second. Yep, my glue dots are fine. So I'm going to go ahead and push that there, and then I'm going to close my card. Okay, so that's now, again, what I should have done was taken this paper, put it here, and then had my flowers right here. And then you open it like that. But it's still good. It's still okay. All right. Then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to do a sentiment. Now, I've got one. I'm going to use a stamp set. It's from the Peaceful Moments, which is retired, but it's really big. It says, "Life is better with a friend like you." Well, I wanted to use this, but it's too big, right? So what I did was I used my Stampin' Write marker in Night of Navy, and I only colored "Life is Better," and then I stamped it on here, and then I ran this through the Quiet Meadows die, the meadow die that has the stitched. Okay, so that's going to be what I'm going to place on here with some Stampin' Dimensionals. Now I want to stamp "With a Friend Like You." So what I'm going to do, and those of you that don't know this, is you can use your Stampin' Write markers on your red rubber cling stamps to get color. Do not use your stamping blends, because that will color and will not remove, that will not come off your stamp. But your Stampin' Write markers, you can do this. So what you can do is, if you have a stamp like this one, now I can color the piece that I want and stamp it on here, and then I'm going to cut it into a banner. Or if you wanted to stamp this all in one piece, you could color every couple of words with different colors ink. So this is a great way if you're just starting out, and of course you don't have a lot of money and you can't afford to buy all the inks and everything. You can start out with the Stampin' Write markers and buy the 48 markers plus the end colors, and then you'll be able to color. You'll have the ink, and you can color whatever it is that you want to stamp. All right. So it says "Life is Better." So I'm going to start here with "A Friend Like You." So I'm just going to take my marker and just start coloring, and you're just going to color over the letters. Okay. So we're just going to cover over the letters. And then I always like to look at it and make sure I've got them all covered, because sometimes you might miss something, especially if it's got like this, got that little curly Q, or you got an A or something like that. All right, so that's what we've got. Now, whenever you do your markers, you always want to huff on them before they dry to re-moisten the ink. So I'm going to do that. And then it says life is better, right? But I want with a friend. I want to leave enough room here because I'm going to make a banner, and then I'm going to cut this down. So we are going to stamp it right about, I think I'm going to go right there. And you just push down and pull up, and there you go. You don't want to rock and roll it because then you'll get ink in places that it doesn't belong. And let me find my chamois. Give me 1 second because I'm going to clean this off. And then we're going to cut that down. So give me just a second. I'm going to wipe that off of there. And then it's all clean. Okay. All right, so I am going to bring my trimmer back in because I'm going to trim this down. I know that's going to be too big for what I want to do. So I'm just going to I'm just going to kind of figure out what I want. And I know I don't want this big of one. So this piece is an inch. So I'm probably going to bring it down to, let's see, a ½ inch and see what that does. Nope, that's going to cut it off. So I think I'm going to bring it down to, what, that's probably going to be like 3/4. So I'm going to set that in there. Hopefully it's going to be straight. All right, so I'm going to put that like that and then hold it in place. And hopefully I don't chop off any of my letters. Okay, perfect. And then I'm going to trim this down just a little. I'm going to cut a banner in it. So I'm going to cut this one off as well. And I don't want it to be a humongous banner. All right, so there's that. Let me get this up off here. All right, and then I'm going to just cut a small banner end on each side. I'm going up from the center, and then from each corner towards that center cut makes a banner. And then do the same thing on the other side. And that looks a little bit too long. I'm going to trim just a tad of that off. All right, and then we'll just do the same thing again. I'm going to trim it up and then cut in the center and then go from corner to corner to make my banner tails. And you can use like a square punch or something like that. Sometimes it's just easier just to, you know, pop it out and do it. All right. So then this we're going to add. So let me put some dimensionals on the front sentiment. So we're going to do that. Getting some of this stuff out of the way. And I want this sentiment, I'm going to lay it about like that. So kind of get it centered on here. And whatever you decide you think looks better. So we'll put a couple of dimensionals. I'm only going to put them on towards the left side, right? Because I don't want it to stick to the right. So I think I'll just put them right about here. And then I know when I lay this down, and I can eyeball it, that that's going to be perfect where I lay it there. So we'll peel the backings off of this. And we're going to lay that down right about there. Okay. And then this one, we're going to adhere right to the top. Now this one's going to be a little bit longer. So I am going to place this one. How do I want to do this? Okay, I think I'm going to do it in the center. And I am going to put glue dots right here, right on this guy, because I don't want it sticking, right? So I just want it glued right here. So I'm going to just put a couple more glue dots on that part of my banner. So I'm going to put one here, and then I might put one right next to it. And let's see. Uh-oh, what did I just do? Uh-oh, I put it on the wrong side. Hang on. I had stamped the back side of this. Oh, almost put the wrong one on there. I had stamped this, the back of it, and then I realized I should show you all how that, in case somebody's new and they don't realize that you can use your markers for coloring. Okay, so I'm putting 2 glue dots on that, and I'm going to lay this right here, and I'm going to have it go, and you can put it, you can really place it where you want. There's no right or wrong way, but since mine's a little bit long, I don't want it, I'm going to just move it up to the center so I can attach it to this point right here on this square. So I'm going to place it right about like that with my glue dots. All right, so then when we close it, ta-da, it opens up. And then if you want to write your message, then you can just put a piece of basic white on the back, and then you can have a place to write your message. And or you can just put a little piece of white down here and sign your name and write your message, however you want to do it. All right, so there's that card. And then here's the other one just like it. Pretty easy card, huh? All right, there's that one, and I'll clean the glue off of that one before I put it away because it's going to get stuck all over to everything. All right, now the next fun fold that we are going to do is, hold on a minute, let me get my stuff out of the way here. I have to get my directions. This is a pop-out gatefold, and I'm using the new or returning color of Misty Moonlight, and I am working with the Waves of Inspiration stamp set, and I'm also using the Let's Go Fishing Designer Series paper. Designer Series paper. All right, so the first thing that we're going to do is we've got our paper cut, and it's cut at 5.5 by 8 inches. Let me move the stamp up there, get this out of the way. Pull the paper trimmer in. So it's cut at 5 and 8 inches, but we need to do some scoring. So we're going to score at 2 and 4 inches. Let's see, 2, 4, and 6 inches on the front. So we're going to do 2. All right, so we want to do 2 inches, 4, and then we want to do 6, which will butt it right over to there, which is our 6 inch. All right, so we've got that. Now we're going to turn it, and on the 5.5 side, we're going to cut. So we're going to take our paper trimmer, and we're going to cut starting at the 1 1/4. So let me bring this over. The 1 1/4 is right here. So I'm going to line the 1 1/4 up, my paper up at the 1 1/4 mark. And I'm going to pull my paper, my trimmer, which is the darker blade, and I'm going to mark from the 2 inch. So if you look on the side of this, you'll be able to see where the 2 inch mark is. And I'm going to take my paper out and show you. I've put a piece of tear and tape on that so it stands out. So there you go. You can see where the inches are. It's on here, but it's clear. So if you put a little piece of tape like I did, it's a lot easier to see. Okay. So we're going to line this at, what did I say? 1 1/4. So let's get this back to the 1 1/4 mark. 1 1/4. Make sure it's straight. All right, now I want to line this up at the 2 inch mark. And you can see on the side that my trimmer, hang on a minute, my blade has just popped out. Hold on. I'm going to get this back of this, there we go. All right, got my finger up here. Get it to 2. All right, we want to get it right in the 2 inch mark. So I'm lining this up. There's a line on the trimmer. I'm lining up with my 2 inch. I'm going to make sure I'm back on my 1 1/4. All right, so I'm going to push that down. Now we're going to go from the 2 inch to the 6 inch, which is going to be this one down here. Okay, so we're at the 2 inch mark. Hang on, I'm a little bit, let me make sure, hang on, let me lift this up. Hang on, I'll get my paper all the way up to the top. That's why it's nice to use this trimmer, because it's got the head up, holds it in place. Okay, 1 1/4. We're at the 1 1/4 mark. I'm at the 2 inch mark here. Hang on, let me lift it up. It's just off just a little bit. All right, so we're at the 2 inch. All right, and we're gonna cut it from 2 to the 6 inch. All right, so bring it down 2, and I can see my 6 inches right here. So I'm just gonna keep moving it until I get it lined up at the 6. All right, and then we're gonna bring this up, and then we're gonna move it down to 4 1/4, which will be right here. And we're gonna do the same thing from 2 to 6 or 6 to 2. So I'm already on the 6 inch mark, right? So let me move it down just a hair. All right, so I'm already here. So I'm just going to take it on the 2 inch mark, on the 6 inch mark, and I'm going to push this up to the 2. So you can either do it whichever way you want. 2 to 6, 6 to 2, same thing. All right. So we're going to cut it there. So now it's given us our cuts that we need to make our pop out. Let's go fishing. And I've got the paper, and what I'm going to do, because when we're going to fold this, we're going to be adding pieces to the front like this, and then when you open it up, this should pop like that, okay? And this really should come out too. All right, so I'm going to put the outside piece right here, I'm going to put the fishes, and I'm going to put the fishes on the inside because we're going fishing, so I want everybody to know. And then the inside, we're going to cut these little pieces, okay? So we're going to make 4 of these strips, and these are 1 1/8 by 1 7/8. I'm sorry, scratch that. That's those. There's 4 1 1/8 by 1 7/8. And then we're going to make 4 of these, which are 1 7/8 by 5 3/8. Okay. Now you can do, so you have a different design if you want. So you could do the front piece to be different than the inside. I want my fish because it's all about the fishing, but I'm going to turn these guys over when we do the inside. Okay. So that's what I'm going to do with my card. So we're going to go ahead and add on this side, which is really pretty, but I'm going to add my I want the fish to be seen, so we're going to add our adhesive, and we're going to put the fish throughout the card. Okay, so we'll do that, and I even cut it so I had my fish going in the right direction. So I'm just going to lay it over and pop this guy right on here. All right, and since I got it flipped over, I might as well do the same thing, right? So we'll just put this guy on there as well, and we have 2 more. So let's put him on here. Hang on. My glue does not want to cooperate. Come on. Well, hang on. For whatever reason, it's not wanting to come out. And it's probably getting low, I guess. It's acting funny. Come on, baby. There we go. Good Lord. All right, so we're going to go ahead and put him on the back side as well, if I can get it picked up. All right, so we're going to go ahead and put this one here. All right, and that's going to go there. And then we're going to flip it back because now this is the inside of my card, and I want my fish going in the inside too, because then we're gonna do a design. So I'm going to face these this way. Hang on a minute. I guess my glue is getting low. So we're going to put these in here. Now again, depending on the paper you're using, you can flip it over so you have two different designs. Okay, if I can get this glue to come out and work. All right, so I'm going to put this one here. All right, so that's going to go there. All right, so we got him down there. And now these guys are going to go up here in these 4 corners. So I'm going to go ahead and add them, but I'm going to put the other side, the plain side showing. Again, so we'll add this up here. We'll put this one here. And then we're going to fill in these 4 squares just like that. So we'll add that one there. I think this is a really cute, if you haven't seen this paper and you want masculine cards, this would be a good set too. And sometimes, I don't always buy the stamp sets. I just get the paper and then try to find sentiments to use. I personally don't think I could. 1, I know I can't afford it. 2, I don't know if I would use them enough to make worthwhile to buy in all of that stuff. So I will get the paper and then try to use the paper to show what you can do with the paper, even if you don't have the stamp set. Which is something you have to think about, right? Okay. All right, and then the last piece we're going to put in here. All right. And I'm going to use my tweezers because I'm getting glue all over my fingers. And I'm going to place this one right here. All right, so those fit perfectly. And this little guy right here looks like he needs a little bit of glue. He keeps lifting up. Yeah, hang on a second. Let me just put a little glue right there. There we go. All right, now the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to stamp our sentiment. Hang on a minute. I'm trying to see why, because I have my piece that is supposed to go here. So I think my score lines are not right. That for whatever reason, I don't think I was supposed to bring this one all the way down, because that's why my thing right here. So if I've done where my directions say to cut at 3 and or to score at 2. Let me see if that's going to work. Hold on a minute. I'm going to look at this and see. Turn the cardstock to the landscape, which it is, and just center landscape at the top and score just the center cut piece at 3 and 5. Okay. Oh, I got it. Okay, never mind. I'm with you. So this one, we're going to line this up at 3 inches. Okay, so then here we're going to come here. I'm not sure I was supposed to do that, but we're gonna make this work. So I'm going to cut. I'm going to score at the top and score just the center cut piece at 3 and 5 inches. So I think I'm supposed to go from here, which is right where the paper is, and score down. So that's going to bend, and then I'm going to move this over. Let me move this down. I can bring this down to 6 to 2. Okay, and then I'm going to move this down to 5 inches. All right, that's where I made a mistake. I don't think I should have done that, but I think we can make it work. All right, let's see. So I'm just going to score here, try to get enough where I can get this to bend. Okay, I think that's what I did. We'll make it work. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and bend this. That's what I did wrong. So we're going to score that, and okay, we're going to move this one. We're going to burnish. We're going to fold this one and burnish it as well. I'm going to use my fingers for now. Okay, so this is where my picture is going to go right here, but I think once we flip it, hopefully it's not going to move. All right, so when you do this, when it says we do 2, 4, and 6, this is the 4 inch, right? Let's make sure. So 2, 4, yeah, that's the 4 inch. So really the 4 inch, you only want to come down an inch at top and bottom, because you don't really want that score mark there in the center. Well, this is the first time I made this card because I'm making it in front of you guys. That's going to go there. So hopefully we'll get it so it works. All right, I'm going to go ahead and get, because I'm going to put, excuse me, a piece on the back, which is going to hold it. All right, let's get moving. We're going to color. So I'm using the Waves of Inspiration stamp set. And I'm going to stamp the pelican from the stamp set. I gotta find him. Oh, hang on, I just left him over here. Oh. And we're gonna stamp him with our pebbled path. And then we're gonna do some blending. All right, so this is another technique that if you're new, you'll get to learn how to do, okay? So we're gonna take our pebbled path and we're gonna ink up our pelican, okay? And we're going to stamp him. I'm going to try to stamp him off to the side just as close as I can get, because I want to put the words on here for his sentiment. And I'm going to stamp him right about here. Isn't that beautiful? I love that color. That works out really well for that. Okay, then I am going to color just his feathers, because I'm going to make him like a brown pelican. So I'm going to bring in my the Wild Wheat Stampin' Right marker. And I'm going to just color, let me get my pencil tip. Now, the new ones, I don't know if y'all have seen this. This is what the new, see how long that, all right, well, you can, as you can tell, this is a lot longer than our other ones. So it really allows you to get into spaces that you normally would not have been able to get into. So I'm going to color his beak. And this is kind of this yellowy, goldy, like a wheat. It's kind of, I don't know, it's not my, well, it might grow on me, and I'm just going to come down on the body and color in these white spots here and try to make him look like he's more of a brown pelican. So I'm just going to come through and try to cover up as much as the white spots as I can. Make him look like he's a white pelican, and we'll let him have a little bit of white throughout. All right, so that's all I'm going to do to the pelican. All right, now I'm making a mask. So what you do is stamp your pelican or your image onto a piece of sticky pad, right? Try this again. Let me get his wood thing that he sits on. There we go. Now I just want to make sure I get him with a little bit of wiggle room, because if I pull it up tight like that, it's going to leave me a little white line, and I don't want that. So I'm going to lay this down about like that and like that. And then I'm going to lift this up so then I can manage his body. There we go. All right, so there we go. Whoops, we're a little crooked here. But that's okay, because this is going to be in the water anyway, so I don't think that's going to matter. All right, so we're going to leave it like that. Okay, so I've got it masked. Now I'm going to bring in my, I think I'll do Pool Party for the water, and then we'll do the sky and use Tahitian Tide. So I'm going to come in with my little mini Stampin' blending sponge, and I'm going to start off on my paper, and I'm just going to lightly come in and make it look like he's got water around him. So that's what the mask does, is it keeps your ink from getting on your image. So that's the whole idea of doing the mask. So I'm going to make this get a little bit darker. This is going to be the water that is surrounding the pelican. Okay? And I'm going to leave it kind of jagged because we don't want it to look perfect, right? And then we're going to come back, and I'm using Tahitian Tide, and I'm going to make this the sky. So I'm going to come in with this, and then I'm just going to come in and blend as well. And I'm going to leave a little bit of the white, kind of showing the sky between the ocean and, the white between the ocean and the sky, okay? And let's make it a little bit darker. But you can definitely see the difference. Let's do that. Color, make it a little bit darker. All right. Okay, doke. Let's see how that works. Let's see. Drum roll. Let's get these out of the way. All right, so we're going to pull him off. Hopefully I don't have it. So I've got a little bit right there. See how I left? All right, so I'm going to take my ink. And this one I'm not too concerned about with the pilings. But this is why when you do your masking, you want to make sure you get it. You really need to cut it slightly shorter, or, as far as your width than what you would need otherwise. So I'm just going to try to get enough so it takes that away. So let's do a little bit more. I had a feeling that was going to show because I had it off on the other side. All right, so that kind of covers it up. Makes his water look really dark, but that's all right. Now, the trick here is going to be trying to get, oops, I just put that in the wrong ink pad. That's not a good thing. Let me get my Tahitian Tide out. And then, good thing I wash my blending brushes after I use them. All right, so I'm going to come in and I'm going to try to get enough that I can cover that white. And I may have to take the marker and go through it, which is fine. And that could be, that's fine. It could be the, whatever. You could put the sun, you make a little yellow mark and make it look like the sun's behind him. All right, so let's move this Misty Moonlight. You tell it's new because it won't open. All right, so we're going to do, now because there's a big space, I'm going to stamp the happy first. I'm not going to ink up the birthday because I don't want to get it. So I'm going to put happy right up here. I'm going to try to center it. All right, so I got the happy, a little crooked, but that's okay. That's all right. It happens, right? Okay, I'm going to make sure there's nothing on there. All right, now I'm going to come back with my birthday, and I'm just going to ink up the birthday. All right, I got to get a little bit more on my B. Okay. Nope, hang on, I didn't get enough on there. There we go. All right, now I'm going to do birthday right here, and I think this should fit. Here we go. I'm going to stick my head in here and just make sure. There we go, happy birthday. And, it might not be straight, but it's okay, right? It doesn't matter. Okay, so now we're gonna glue this down right here. This is gonna go right in the center. All right, so let's get our adhesive, and then we're gonna go on the back side and put the same size piece for you to write your message on the back side. So so that's gonna help fix this crease that we have in there. All right, so we've got that. And I thought my idea of this card, just to let you know with the fish, is the pelican's waiting for his fish, right? So I'm going to move him over a little bit. So he's sitting here waiting for all these fish to come towards him so he can start eating. All right, hang on. Let me lift this up just a second because it is, it's not sitting centered. It needs to go over a little bit more. Let me see if I can lift it up. Hang on a minute. See if I can lift him without making a total mess. Yeah, I can. All right, hang on. He wasn't, he needs to go over this way. There we go. All right, I think that happy's throwing everything off. Okay, and then right on the back, right here, we're going to cover that. So that way it should not prevent that from moving. So let's go ahead and add this on here. All right, so we've got that. And we will be done with our cards. All right, got those even in between there. So you can write a little message, not much. If you want to write more, you can add more stuff back here. All right, so there's our card. So we're going to fold it up. And then this will pop up like that. Isn't that cute? So it does work, even though I've scored it, which is fine. So you know when you put your pieces on it, it's going to cover the score and allow it to do that. So there you go. It's another pop-up fun fold. Isn't that cute? All right. I hope you've enjoyed these cards. Let me bring in these two again. So this is the pop-up like that. And then here's the one here like that. And then here's our spaceship. This has got a spaceship stamp set, the stargazing. It is awesome. All right, everybody, there you go. There are our cards. I hope you've enjoyed these this evening. And have a great week. I'll be back next week with another recorded video. So make sure you stop by so you don't miss out on anything.